Hello, welcome back to my channel. In my own life, I use so many hats in my professional entrepreneurship life and passionate life as well too. So one of the key fundamental things I have learned is about productivity is actually one who can give me a great amount of freedom. So that's why I have realized productivity is everything, and I like to lay it down in every possible way. So I read a lot of books, I practice all of them in every possible day, and I have realized there's a lot of misconceptions even inside the books and inside the society as well too about talking about what is productivity. So that's why today in this video I'm going to share with you 18 big mistakes laying when you're talking about productivity among every one of you. So you can check if you're facing any of them, so you'll be able to use this video to remove those productivity wrong myth outside of you, so you'll be actually able to achieve and unlock your true productivity in your life to achieve your great success. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started.
To make it happen. So let's give a big hand to these student leaders.
The first one is very classic. I should be using every possible moment. So it's impossible to be aware every possible moments. And I realize that we don't really need to be proactively using every possible moment as well too. Because in our mind, we are in different state we are in. I realize this one, there's a particular time I will have a high energy, and there's a particular time I will have a low energy as well too. And a particular time I will be in a state of really focused moment too. I realize this one, I need some gap between those kinds of high energy and a low energy time. And I also need some kind of time between when I'm doing a lot of focus and a little bit of less focus as well too. So that means I can easily transit. So there is a gaps I'm always willing to trade off. And when I was switching from a really high focus moment to a little bit downtime, and I was coming back to it, and I realized this is actually helping me to be more productive as well too. So that means when somebody is only telling me or us that hey, you should be using every possible moment, that's not possible, and that is not a productivity tip. It's actually the opposite. Number 2, I should be more productive. Well, I realize this one, there's always a way we could find ourselves more productive. So when somebody is just telling us, hey, you can be just more productive, that is a very vague comments. So when somebody telling me that, hey, you could be more productive, I'll be looking into that, what particular thing I could do more. And I'll be asked specifically that person that, okay, for what aspect you want to be more productive? As example, or you could always sleep more, you could always build more muscle. So I realize this in my life is about never I want to take a point talking about that, oh, you should be just more productive. It's not the factor. It's about how much I'm getting it done. Because I was always looking into it right now when it comes to productivity. In a particular day, I have 24 hours. What I have particularly get it done on that day, or in a week period of time, what I have actually get it done. And then I can compare myself this week to other week, and I see this one, is it a more better week or that week? And one more aspect is about, it's not about amount of task I get it done. It's actually also amount of the complex tasks I have done. How much amount of energy it took me to get it done as well too. And more importantly, I always also looking into is about what other external factor was there with me, which actually taking me out of that work as well too. How much interrupted me through my focus as well too. Because when you're working on a particular strategic thing, always operational things pop up and that actually interrupt, and actually it's important to pay attention to them as well too. So that's why the second thing I realize in my life is about I should be more productive is a bad advice. And it's bad advice to ourselves, and I will never take that advice, but I will always see this about how effective I can be more rather than I'm talking about how productive I can be more. Number 3, consistency is more important than intensity. Well, consistency is very important. Like example, when you talk about micro habits, having small amount and small great choice over time, it will help us to make us great result as well too, which is true. But there's a problem here. Our life is not about only running marathons. We also do a lot of sprint as well too. So like an example, we want to kick off a project, we want to get it done, or you want to get a video done. I've been thinking about just writing a script for a year for this video, how this video, when it will get published, and when you will be seeing into it, and probably it will not be relevant at that time as well too. So that's why we have to seize about, we will be focusing more about, I always like to focus about getting consistency, but I will be also taking some particular time where I will be very intense and getting things done on that moment as well too, like kicking off the project, making a checklist done, or getting a video done, make sure that we open up a new new recruitment posts, making sure that I have been doing 10 interviews for closing a particular positions, and so on. So I'll be focusing also in intensity in a particular period of time, not forgetting the consistency. Life is amazing, I realize. It's not about only just simple one thing can help us to win. We need multiple principles, and we really need to use it like an expert. So yes, that's my third takeaway. Number 4, reading too many books is a bad thing or a waste of time. Actually, it's also, I realize, is a wrong thing too as well. Whenever we're reading a particular book, we always get a new information. But it's also a matter what we do with the new piece of information. Like an example, we could read like 5 books, and a lot of people say this one, hey, just squeeze everything possible out of the book. So I will tell you right now the way I read. I love to read. This is something I have very grateful of that one, that I have learned how to love the read. I was not this person. It's possible to do that kind of person. Like even like 8 years back, I was sitting with an American CEO and he asked me that, what book you love to read? And I said, I don't really love to read books, and I love to read only conference and journal paper. I was so stupid to say that one to him. He probably was laughing at me. But if you watching this video, that, hey, I have changed already. But the point is coming back to this one. Reading books is always important, but how you're reading matters the most. When you're reading a particular book, there are 2 ways we could read the books. One, we're just skimming through and just getting for information. And the second thing is about reading a particular book and actually executing those key takeaways, those ideas of the book in the life or at work too. So I'll be reading a lot of books. First, normally I do skim through first, see what information I want to do, or a particular book, like definitely not in my area of interest. I just will skim through and get the information. And there are some other books I would like to really extract all this idea and put it in my own life, like in experimentations of this book. And that's why I'm going to figure out is going to be useful for me or not. So now, here's the point. Reading too many books is good as long we're putting them in these 2 buckets. One, for information. Another one is for experimentation. And if the experiment goes successful for those books, I'll be implementing that one in my life and work as well. Use paper notebook only. This is a very classic information. There's a lot of psychologists talk about it. When you listen something and we write it down something in the notebook, it's really help us to memorize. Agree. At the same time, there is a lot of experts who will say this one. When you are in a meeting, you should not take notes in your laptop or on your phone. You should be writing down in a paper. That really shows that the person who are briefing you in a sales call, you feel like it's really going through, which is also okay. But here's the point. Right now, we live in an age where there's tons of information and knowledge is everywhere. If we try to capture everything in our notebooks, it's impossible for us to actually to categorize those things and really access this thing, because the note, if you are in a notebook, it's very hard to search this one as well too. Like an example, you took a notes 2 years, like 3 years ago, and 3 years, if you're taking a lot of notes, I will lose them all. I don't know where it is because just too many notes I take, and probably you do as well too. So that's why using an app or any kind of simple digital form and an app to store those old notes are really efficient. So if you keep watching this one, end of the video, I was sharing with you my second brain and tactics to use your notes in a digital form and building a second brain to help your brain and excel yourself. I'll show you too. So keep watching. End of the video, I'll share with you that video as well, so you can use that mechanism to build a great digital model. So I have learned building paper book notes is not efficient. It's a great efficient is about when I put it in a digital format. And that's why I can really access it. And I can revisit it very often, so I can win over the issue of forgetting them as well too. Because anyway, I'm training my own brain not to remember anything. I'm training my brain to analyze the data, and I'm letting my notebook systems to remember things for me. And if something I really need to pop up, which is very common information, I got an internet. Just few lines and I get the answer. Number 6, motivation leads to action. To become more productive, that you need to be motivated first, and that will have a great thing. What in my personal life, I realized this one, actions coming from a pure curiosity. Like an example, I could watch a TED Talk video, few of them, and I can be very excited about it. And then in a few days, I will not be motivated anymore, or I will just stop doing it and I will drop out that particular initiatives. So what I realized this one is about, when I want to build an action on something, I will see this one, how I can turn that action to a continuous manner. So I will see how is the action about. If the action is a one time, or I have to do a regular thing. If I have to do it at one time, I'll block my time in my time zone, my calendar, and just get it done on that time. And if I see this one, I have to do it for a long period of time, again and again, I will see how I can put in my own habit system. So I will be able to just do it without just notifying myself because it's just my habit of me. And that's how I handle it. And that really helped me in terms of productivity. Number 7, hustle culture is bad. A lot of people are talking about hustle is great. And other people will say, no, I don't want to hustle. I want to prosper, right? So here's the thing. What I realized this one is about hustling is important because if we don't hustle, we will not be able to find the right curiosity. Like in my personal life, I realized this one. When I kick off in a particular initiatives, before I actually find the true main idea, I have to go around and find a lot of it. And if I'm not hustling, that means I'm not putting extra effort into it. It takes a long period of time to find the right thing, which I really gonna work in professional life or entrepreneurial life. And now, if I'm not hustling, means I'm doing it slowly. So life is always bombard me with a lot of new things. I mean, my parents can have health issues, or I can get health issues, or economy can go involved. There could be another COVID wave as well, and just take me out. It means before I get into result, they take me out of this one means I basically simply failed because I just give up, right? So that's why I realize this one. Hustle is really important because it helps us to come to a conclusion in fast period of time. And that way it helped me to figure out what is the true result, what I was pursuing that time. Is it possible for me? Is it worthy? Can I do it? Can it really make sense to my capability? And so on. Number 8, overwork is bad. So now people will always talk about, there's this one. Talent can be beaten by hard work. I agree. Hard work is really important because talent will be only beaten if there is not enough hard work. But now, the way I have learned the equation is about talent multiply effort equal to skills. But now, the same as skill multiply effort equal to success. So now, when I look at these two fundamental equation, I see that the effort coming to 2 times in that equation to produce the success. So that is why the talent is really important, but hard work is so much important as well too, because I can have full control of my hard work, and that's why it can help me a better result. But yes, I'm not going to be good at everything. Not possible. There's a lot of people who say that, oh, you could be good at everything. No, I cannot be good at everything. It's just because of what I realized is 100% of myself, 50% of me is hardware, and 50% is malware. So that 50% I can optimize, I can tweak to make a better result of myself. So now, here's the point. Hard work is important to get something done, or anything great in this life require hard work. And as long as it's been done in a productive manner, in a systematic manner, the result has the highest possibility in terms of achievement. Number 9, productivity is not a self-care. That means you are really productive and you are just putting into work. You don't eat, you skip the meal and keep working. You don't go to the gym, you keep working. I was that person. I was like few years back, I was not doing the gym because I was just using every possible moment to the work. And I realized this probably make me feel good. But in terms of, it was not really make me feel good in a long period of time. And it was not making me super successful in a long period of time as well too. Because of not doing the proper care of myself, I was not eating on time. So I was losing energy. Like an example, when I was skipping the breakfast and keep working that period of time, or I lost energy like after 11 p.m. or 10 a.m. So my productivity from 11 to 12 until lunch is low. And now, as I skip the meal breakfast, I go to the lunch, have my lunch, my glucose sugars goes up, and now my productivity even go low down because now we want to sleep and we want to regain because the blood has a lot of sugars and our body is thinking about how to deal with so many additional sugar as well too. So now self-care is actually productivity. Productivity doesn't mean that you're going to skip your meal. Even it can, I realize this one, having a coffee on time with the right amount of coffee is so much critical for me to get the right energy out of me so I can put it to work, because without the right energy, I'll not be able to produce the right productivity and the right results as well to what I'm working. Number 10, the goal should be SMART. As you know that the meaning of SMART is specific, measurable, or time bound, all this thing. But here's the point. Some of the goal can be without SMART framework too. But yes, more you can have them all bound with you, the better it is. So I realized this on some of the goals I set up in my life. I want to be a better person. I want to be more kinder. So now I cannot measure by this thing as well too in terms of smartness. What I could do is I could be always look into myself and assess myself, but everything doesn't need to be smart. Like an example, I'm doing some passion project. I will not be looking into something in terms of SMART framework, but I will more focus about the result framework. am I really capable to do it? And more importantly, which is not in the SMART, I look into it about, do I really need to do it right now? Is it something really important for me at this point now or later? If it's later, I'll put it to later. If it's now, I will see how can I accommodate my time into that one too. Number 11, you could do everything. I have already talked about it, this one too. You cannot do everything. I cannot do everything. I cannot be Elon Musk. You can't be an Elon Musk too. Because it's just the way we have been built. Who am I is me. Who am I you is you are. You are built with your parents' gene. I'm built with my parents' gene too. So what is matter is about, what is our room? The way I studied a lot of books and a lot of psychologists, we are like 50% hardware. So we cannot change that 50%. The another 50% of us is about malware. So this is the part we can tweak, we can optimize, we can improve. So we could be a lot better version of who we are today, the way we came to the world, because we could improve our mindset, knowledge, and processability and so on. But we cannot be in everyone. And more importantly, I also realized that we don't need to be everyone. We just need to be, and we need to be our best version of ourselves. And productivity can help us to be there, that journey more exciting, because there is no final version of ourselves. It's always about a better version than who am I today. Number 12, multitasking is smartness. A lot of people keep saying about this one, oh, you could handle 3 things at the same time. You're so smart. But actually, it's not. Multitasking is the one who actually impact our overall productivity. So if there is a 4 task we're working on, so that means we are doing 10% and switching to another one, 20% and switching to another one, so that every time we're switching from one task to another task, we are living out some part in our brain memory. It's staying in our brain, and we're loading a new information to other side of our brain, and we're getting overloaded. It's exactly like a computer RAM with a lot of software openings. So now finally the RAM getting smaller. So now, first of all, the RAM getting smaller means brain getting smaller. Secondly is about, we had a lot of key ideas coming on when we're supposed to come to our mind immediately. We lose some of them, and that's why overall speed goes down in terms of completion of each of them. And secondly, we also reduce the quality of our work as well too through multitasking. So to be productive, focus one thing at a time. Like an example, I'm making this video. I'm just making this video. I'm working on a particular project and a particular task. I will be only focusing that one. I'll not be looking for any text message and so on. I will just get it done. And I know if there is a team member waiting for me, I will check their message and I'll reply them at that time. And if something is so crucial, I will just walk to them, or I will have a call with them and I will discuss with them right away, rather than having 2 lines and just doing something else and then come back to check the message. What is the reply? I will not do that, because that's why I'm losing time. So multitasking is not a smartness. Multitasking is something which is losing us in a position where we're losing our productivity and good quality of work as well too. Number 13, you don't have the time. We all have the time. We're just not making into it. What I realized this one, when somebody is saying this one, hey, can we just get it done? And I say this one, no, I don't have time. It's actually, I'm just making an excuse. What I'm saying is about, this is not the thing I want to put in my priority right now, and I want to do it later. So why I'm not putting in a priority? For 2 reasons. One, I probably don't really think that is important right now, because it's absolutely clear. Or I do not understand the true importance of doing that one right now as well too. So there's always a time. It's only just about prioritize. So having those new ideas, getting all those kind of new projects, people's suggestions to me, what I do is about immediately I take it on, put it in my idea list, and then I process them forward in a period of time, so I don't lose them as well, and I can put them in the right time to get it done as well. Another aspect, people always think about, oh, we're old, so it's too late. But actually, if you look at the story, is about KFC's, the face of the KFC, the Kentucky Chickens. The founder was very old, and he was almost getting out of business, and almost 60 years old, he was been very successful. And not only him, there's a lot of tons of other successful people who got successful after 60 years old, and there's a long list into it. You can just put in a Google into it and you can see the whole long list of successful people too. So now we always have the time, and I realize this one, we could be successful at any time. Every one of us, including me and you are watching, we have our own clock and we'll be successful in our way. But one thing we can always be controlled is about, we can be always being productive, rather than thinking about, it's not the time for me. I don't have the time to be successful. I don't have the time to be productive. No, we have. Number 14, productivity is all about doing more. That's not right. In my own life, I realized this one. Productivity is about doing the right thing in the right time. Doing the right thing with the right person. I realized the third one is doing the right thing with the right cause as well too. So as long as I'm doing 3 of the things right, I will be doing the right thing with a really productive manner, and my life will be very, very productive. It took me for a while to realize this one. I really need to look in these 3, and I was not really looking into these 3 before. So I was just way overwhelmed with a lot of things, and now I realize this one. This is the thing. Maybe this is not the thing I need to do right now, or this is the thing I shouldn't do with this person. I should do with that person, and that really helped me because that person can help me to take the best out of it or put the right value into this one, so it will be fast. It will be done with a good quality and with a less quantity of usage of time. So that's why that's a very important factor. Number 16, the environment has to be perfect. Like an example, in a workstation, you need the mouses, the great mouses. You need to have an Apple mouses, so you need a great lights. You need some plants. You need to be sitting down next to the window. In my life, I realized it's not the fact. Actually, those are not super important. Environment doesn't have to be perfect. It can be perfect. If you're perfect, my mind got more comfortable. But what I think about, rather than finding perfect environment, I think about what I'm really doing. Do I something love it or not? So very soon I'm going to make a video is about talking about how to design a life we really love about it too as well. So what I'm really doing, if I love it, environment is not going to be a big factor. But if I do the things I hate to do, then I will make a lot of excuses, including the environment as well too. So a comfortable chair with a comfortable height, with a good straight back gesture, and doing the things I love doing it will be almost right. It doesn't have to be a perfect environment all the time. But yes, it is good to have, but it's not a must-have. Number 17, small thing doesn't matter. Focus on the big thing, getting the big thing done, taking all the important matters. Yes, it is. But small thing also matter too. So if you think about atomic habit, small things consistently done a smart way can give you a big result. And I realized this is exactly the same thing as well too. Like an example, just typing the keyboard faster can get someone a lot more productive compared to than before. Like an example, before when I was a student, I get a lot of criticized because of making a lot of mistakes because I was trying to learn one thing, trying to learn how to type fast without looking at the keyboard. And I was making a lot of typos and I get a lot of jokes from my friends. But didn't realize that why I was doing it. I was doing it because I want to learn the thing without looking at the keyboard, and I want to type really fast. Yes, I was probably overdoing it a little bit, so I was making a lot of mistakes, but that really helped me right now. So now my typing, somebody who's typing slower than me, half speed of me, probably will take double time to write a letter. I will write in half period of time. An email, I will be saving 50% of my time. An article will 50% of the time as well too. So that's why small things also matter as well too. And like an example, waking up in the morning, having a glass of water is small thing, but when I'm doing it every day, it really helped me to get the right hydration, so I have a great start in the morning as well too. So small thing matters when it comes to productivity. Productivity only comes with the time. This is also not right as well too. I realized this one, if I just focusing on the time, how much time I'm spending on that one, I will be capping myself with 24 hours speed of time. So I realized this one, there's another dimension into it, which is about energy management. So that means I realized this one, if I use the energy combining with the time, I can do an infinite amount of multiply my result of that one too. Not infinite, to be honest, multiply the speed as well too. So that means what I do is right now that the list of the things I want to get it done in a particular day, I will categorize themselves, how much energy does it needs, rather than estimating how much time do I really need. And then I would like to categorize my all those times blocks, high energy, mid energy, low energy, to the time when I have a great energy. Like an example, when I wake up in the morning, get my breakfast already, and I have my coffee and I have a high energy, I'll pick the high energy task on that time. I'll just kill it. So there's a book about this one, eating the frog, which is great, but eating the frog in the right time is also very important. I realized that one too. And like the same way, and there's something I have to do with a really low energy I really need, I will put those tasks the time I have a low energy. So medical science, it's saying this one around 3 p.m. every day, our brain almost getting a reset period of time. So that's time we have a really low energy time. So normally at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. we put a lot of small energy tasks and normally get it done. Even I sometimes avoid the meeting, because when I go to the meeting, we need good energy as well too, because meeting is the place we do a lot of great things done. So I like to even avoid the meetings that time, but I like to put the meetings in after lunch or maybe after 3 p.m. so I have sufficient energy as well too. And here you go. I give you in this video a total of 18 common mistakes some people are doing when it's come to productivity, and there's a lot of misunderstanding about this one. And as I practice this productivity in my life in daily manner, so I realized this is the 18 one. I told you that I'm going to give you one video. It's about how you can take your productivity next level by using the second brain approach. So go ahead and click this video right now, and I will be explaining with you how you can use a second brain concept to make your great note making system too. And when you finish this video, I will also give you another video so you can implement as well how to make a digital brain for your note as well too. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click the video right now, and I'm looking forward to see you there. All the best. We have some exciting plan for the next week, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that out.